Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. This is Sunita Gladys Kanaka from Punvidyashram. Good morning. How are you, students? I am fine, thank you. Welcome to the English class. Today we are going to learn a poem by Robert Louis Stevenson. In short, R.L. Stevenson's A Child's Thought. This video consists of poem recitation, explanation, poetic devices, and notes. Are you ready, children? Shall we start? Okay. Before getting into the poem, let us see a quick brief introduction about R.L. Stevenson. R.L. Stevenson was a Scottish novelist, poet, essayist, and travel writer. He wrote popular books for children like Treasure Island and The Story of Kidnapped that are still loved the world over. His collection of poems for children, A Child's Garden of Verses, in 1885 is well liked by adults too. Robert Louis Stevenson was born on 13th November 1850 in Edinburgh, England, and died on 3rd December 1894. The poem A Child's Thought by R.L. Stevenson describes the nighttime fantasy world of a 7-year-old child and compares it to the mundane world of reality. This poem is actually dream versus reality. In a dream, we experience vivid imagination of natural and unnatural aspects. Only when we wake up, we will realize that it was just a dream, isn't it? Have you ever experienced it? The truth is, the real world is more significant than the dream world. Now we'll go to the poem A Child's Thought by Robert Louis Stevenson. Are you with me, students? Shall we recite the poem together? Can I hear a loud yes from your side? Yeah, I can hear. Very good. Then come and recite the first stanza followed by the second stanza. Now, 3, 2, 1, start. A Child's Thought. At 7, when I go to bed, I find such pictures in my head. Castles with dragons prowling round, gardens where magic fruits are found, fair ladies present in a tower or lost in an enchanted bower, while gallant horsemen ride by streams that border all this land of dreams. I find so clearly in my head at 7 when I go to bed. At 7 when I wake again, the magic land I seek in vain. A chair stands where the castle frown, the carpet hides the garden ground. No fairies trip across the floor, boots and not horsemen flank the door. And where the blue streams rippling ran is now a bath and water can. I seek the magic land in vain at 7 when I wake again. Robert Louis Stevenson. Now, stanza-wise explanation. The first stanza describes what the little child sees before he drifts off to sleep. His mind has possibly been filled with the stories of fairy tales. He may see some dim shapes in his dark room that in his mind images are elements of those stories such as castle, dragons, horsemen, magic garden, fair ladies, etc. At 7 when I go to bed, I find such pictures in my head, castles with dragons prowling round. Here, The 7-year-old child is going to bed to sleep. When he falls into deep sleep, he dreams about dragons prowling around the castle. Prowling around means moving quietly looking for prey, and castle is a huge palace. Okay. Gardens where magic fruits are found, fair ladies present in a tower, or lost in an enchanted bower. Here, the child dreams about luscious fruits that grow in this magic kingdom, and fair ladies, maidens, trapped in a tower. They lost in the magical forest. They are under a magic spell. While gallant horsemen ride by streams that border all this land of dreams, I find so clearly in my head. Here, everything seems so real to him. He was able to see everything very clearly. Brave horseman guarding the castle, riding by the stream. At 7, when I go to bed, in the first stanza, this 7-year-old child is in his dream world. Now we'll go to the second stanza. At 7, when I wake again, the magic land I seek in vain. A chair stands where the castle frown. Here, the phrase at 7 can be the child's age as well as time. So, the phrase at 7 represents the child's age in the first stanza, and the phrase at 7 represents time in the second stanza. When he wakes up in the morning at 7, he is coming into reality, searching for the magic land. But to his disappointment, he could see a chair in the place of the castle. The carpet hides the garden ground. No fairy strip across the floor. Boots, not horsemen, flank the door. Here, the carpet in his room is hiding the garden and fairies. The horsemen are his boots, placed on both the sides of the door. And where the blue streams rippling ran is now a bath and water can. I seek the magic land in vain. Here he realized that there is no longer an imaginary river, but only a bath and water can. He looks around in his room, hoping to find the magic land of the dream world, and sees no evidence of it. At 7, when I wake again, the child is getting into the real world. This poem brings to life the vivid imaginations of a 7-year-old and the disappointment he feels when reality doesn't measure up to the beauty and excitement of his dreams. Here ends the explanation of the poem. I hope you must have understood the summary of A Child's Thought by R.L. Stevenson. Now we'll recite the poem once again. Now, 3, 2, 1, start. A Child's Thought. At 7, when I go to bed, I find such pictures in my head. Castles with dragons prowling round, gardens where magic fruits are found, fair ladies present in a tower or lost in an enchanted bower, while gallant horsemen ride by streams that border all this land of dreams. I find so clearly in my head at 7 when I go to bed. At 7 when I wake again, the magic land I seek in vain. A chair stands where the castle frown, the carpet hides the garden ground. No fairies strip across the floor, boots and not horsemen flank the door. And where the blue streams rippling ran is now a bath and water can. I seek the magic land in vain. At 7 when I wake again. Robert Louis Stevenson. Now it's time to look into the poetic devices used in this poem. The first one is rhyming words. Are you ready to pick out the rhyming words? Okay, we'll start. Bed, head, round, found, tower, bower, streams, dreams, head, bed. The second poetic device is rhyme scheme. What is the rhyme scheme of this poem? AA, BB, CC, DD, AA. The third one is refrain. What is refrain? Refrain is a poetic device. That is repetition of the lines. Here, the first line and the 10th line says, at 7 when I go to bed. This poetic device is known as refrain. The fourth one is personification. It is in the second stanza. What is personification? Non-human objects acts like human beings. The carpet hides the garden ground. The action performed by the carpet is hiding. Now it's your turn to find the rhyming words, rhyme scheme, and refrain from the second stanza. Will you do that? Now we'll go to the notes. Roman number 1, synonyms. First one, tower, a tall narrow building, a part of a castle. Second one, enchanted bower, here magical garden. Third one, gallant, brave. The next, vain, useless. Trip, move with light steps. Flank, placed on both sides. Rippling, flowing. Now Roman number 2, tick the correct options. First one, what does the child do when he wakes up? Option A, he tries to find the garden under the carpet. Option B, he tries to find the magic land he had seen in his dream. Which is the correct answer? You tell me the answer. Yes, it is B. He tries to find the magic land he had seen in his dreams. Second one, by castle frown, the child means that the castle was old or the castle looked imposing and threatening. What is the correct option? Yes, it is B again. Castle looked imposing and threatening. Very good. Now Roman number 3, answer these questions. First one, when the child wakes up in the morning, what does he see in place of horsemen? Answer, boots. The next question, blue streams, bath and water cans. Second question, I seek in vain. What does the child seek? The child seeks the magic land. When does the child seek it? The child seeks it when he wakes up at 7 in the morning. Where is it to be found? The magic land is only to be found in the child's dream. Now, third question and answer. What does the child mean by I find such pictures in my head? Describe any 2 pictures that the child finds in his head. Answer, the child means that he dreams of the magic land when he goes to sleep. He finds castles with dragons prowling around, gardens where magic fruits are found, fair ladies imprisoned in a tower or lost in an enchanted bower, gallant horsemen riding by streams. From this, you can choose any 2. Fourth question and answer. What are the differences between the waking and sleeping worlds of the child? Answer. The sleeping world of the child is much more interesting as it is full of magical and fantastical things that represent a fairyland, whereas the waking world of the child is bland and presents to him all the ordinary mundane things of everyday life. Here ends the poem A Child's Thought by Robert Louis Stevenson. Hope you have understood the poem in detail. Thank you for watching and listening. Bye from Sunitha Gladys Kanaka.